Hi, I'm Don Thomas, author of The Reason Lincoln Had to Die. Now, it's a history about a coalition of men within the United States government who conspired to remove the duly elected President Lincoln from office using assassination, and they got away with it. And I've spent the past decade or more trying to expose these people for who they really are. One of the best sources of evidence that I have to prove what I'm saying is the 1977 FBI forensic exam of Booth's diary. Many people are familiar with this, but few understand what it says. And no one that I know of, other than myself, has done a full analysis of it. So that's what this video is about. It proves that there are 6 pages of text missing from the center of Booth's diary, and the diary that's now in Ford's Theater is a forgery. And the original pages have been destroyed. So that's what the video is about, and I've got a little clip I'm going to run for you now, and I think you'll find some information in this video that you've never been exposed to before. If you Google search the diary of John Wilkes Booth and you go to images, you can see a whole assortment of pictures of the Booth diary, but not all of these pictures are the actual diary. Now, there's a way to tell if you're looking at the real diary or a replica. The difference between the two is that if you notice, there's pinholes right here in the diary pages, in the diary cover, and that's because when Ford's Theater had the diary in the early days, back in the 60s, they had it on display on a bulletin board, and they used thumbtacks to hold the diary on the bulletin board and open it up to the page they wanted. This is a photographic image of the diary pictures as they look in Ford's Theater now. These are the actual ones, so you can see the pinholes right here, and this is the miscellaneous page, and then you have the diary section where the first 25 sheets are cut out, and this last sheet that is cut out is the first sheet of packet 5, and you can tell that because there's a 5 right here. Each packet has a number in the lower left hand corner, so we know this is packet number 5, the first sheet, and we know that there are 25 diary sheets torn out that are visible, but there are 2 diary sheets that are also missing from the book, but their edges are not visible. And that's one of the issues that I'm going to address in this video. This is sheet 28. 26 and 27 are missing, but you can't see the stubs. Now, the reason the FBI examined the diary in 1977 is because history researchers were looking at these pages and they noticed that there was invisible writing on the blank page. This is the second page of the first sheet, the back side, and if you look right here, this is the first page and this is the back side, and these 2 pages were originally connected to each other. They were one single sheet of paper, but now they are cut in half and they're glued to the sheets that were once attached to sheets 26 and 27. Now, there was a lot of political opposition against turning the diary over for FBI forensic exam because I think a lot of people were afraid of what the FBI might discover. But it took intervention as high as Walter Mondale, the vice president, to persuade the National Park Service to turn the diary over, which they finally did. And they did an evaluation, and I want to explain to you what was discovered by the FBI Forensic Department. The FBI report begins by identifying Booth's diary as a pocket diary for 1864 by James M. Crawford from St. Louis, Missouri. It says the diary is contained in a leather-bound folder approximately 6 inches by 9 inches when fully opened. The folder is a trifold design with a large pocket inside the front cover, and pockets for postage, tickets, and a holder for a writing instrument on the back cover. So this is the large pocket, And this is the pockets for postage and tickets, and this is the holder for the writing instrument, the pencil. And then it says that beneath the pencil holder, which is right here, is another large pocket. But that's where the discrepancy in the report begins, because that is not a pocket, it's a sleeve. And you can see right here that this is a leather bound sleeve that the diary slips into. It's detachable. The folder and the diary are two separate pieces, and it's designed that way so at the end of 1864, Booth could swap it out with a new diary. This book is only good for 1 year. When Booth wrote his confession in this book, it was already a year and a half old, so it was useless as a diary. Booth didn't keep a diary for 1864 or 1865. He used the empty pages of this outdated book to write his confession. Alright, this is a little leather-bound notebook I picked up at the craft store to use as a book to explain what the FBI report is talking about. This is roughly the same size as the diary Booth wrote in, and the report says that the first two sheets of the book are missing, and then you come to this title page where it explains it's a pocket diary, and then these are the miscellaneous pages with tide charts and moon phases for 1864, stamp duties, and just miscellaneous information that's good only for the year 1864. This is the first cutout sheet of the diary section. It's packet number 2, and this is packet number 1, so that the first page is, the first 25 sheets are cut out. That's 50 pages. And these sheets are the ones everybody talks about. Did Booth cut them out? Did somebody else cut them out? Were there secret writing on this? Was this has something to do with the diary? It has nothing to do with Booth's diary confession at all. These pages were all written before Booth even had a plot to kill the president. Booth didn't start writing in the diary section that we know of until April the 17th, 3 days after he shot the president. So these pages could have been torn out by Booth or anybody. We don't know anything about these pages. They were never recovered, and they never will be. I'm sure they've all been destroyed, and they're just like this right here. This is packets 2, 3, and 4, and the first page of packet 5 have all been taken out of the book and used for maybe toilet paper. That's what several people on my websites have suggested. So these are the toilet paper pages. They mean nothing. When historians and other people talk about these 25 pages, they're meaningless. They don't mean anything. So the only true missing pages from the diary that make any difference at all are the pages that are missing from the center of the book, from the center of packet 5. So at the bottom of page 4 of the report it says, as a result of the complete examination of the diary, no invisible writings, unusual obliterations or alterations, or any characteristics of question were found. I found that statement utterly contrary to the examination findings, and I want to share with you a few significant alterations and several characteristics of question. To begin with, the book was taken apart. If you look at this book right here, you can see that Booth's diary was taken apart just like this to expose the packets, or some people call them the signatures now, but these are the individual packets that make up a book. And packet 5 was unbound from the book. The pages were taken out, and different pages were copied, and then they were put back in the book, and that's why they're forgeries, because the original pages are gone. In order to do that, they had to unglue this cover, just like this, and exposed the stitches that hold the packets together. They had to pull these stitches out, take the packet out, copy them over as single sheets, and then put them back together, put them back in the book, glue it, and then that's what Congress saw. When Everton Codger took the book from Booth's body, it was the original pages before this book was taken apart and rebound. When Congress saw it, it had been severely altered. So the question is, what evidence is there in the report that proves that Booth's diary had already been taken apart and rebound before he began writing his confession? The evidence in the report that can prove the diary in Ford's Theater now on display as a forgery is the discovery of the invisible writing. The invisible writing is a result of the pages being copied, written twice, and it proves that when the pages were written, they were single sheets cut from the book before they were rebound. So that means that these pages were written after Booth was dead. To demonstrate how they did this, I did a little forgery of my own, and the way I did it was I took a piece of craft paper and I laid it on a blank sheet, and I took the original writing and traced it on the craft paper, and there it is, a forgery in Booth's handwriting, and it's in pencil. It's erasable. So this is my replica right here, and I forged this page. This is the first page of the diary that you see now after the 25 cutout sheets. That's sheet number 25. Two other sheets, 26 and 27, are hidden. You can't see their stubs. So 28 has been cut from 29 because it was the same sheet of paper. 28 and 29 were separated, and 28 was glued in place of 26, and 29 was glued in place of 27. So you took out the first two sheets of Booth's diary and replaced them with forged paper. So when Booth wrote his confession, and he wrote this TMO, and this first page right here, then the impressions from the writing of this page would be on the blank page right here. And so that's what I've done. You can see that I took some lead shavings and darkened the page just like they are now, and the invisible writing came up. And all it is the impressions from the forgery on here, because on the pages in Ford's Theater, they don't have any impressions at all from the first page, which means that when the first page was written, it was a single sheet like this laying outside of the book, and they copied it like that, and then when they turned it over on the back side, it was laying on that. So the impressions from this page are now on this page, which means that these sheets were single sheets laying outside of the book before they were put together. That means they were written after Booth was dead. And we know the pages were written twice because the impressions from this last page Booth wrote, June 29, sheet 31, can also be seen on these pages in front and also on these pages underneath. The impressions from this writing are seen on pages 32 and 33 and 29. So when that page was written, it was written by Booth when it was in the book, and then it was copied over. They were laying as single sheets, and they are transposing the text like I did on this page. You can see that I copied TMO, April the 14th, Friday the Ides, and then I took a sentence from another page And then this is from the last page. This is all on the same sheet of paper. It's a forgery, but it's in Booth's handwriting, just like they did it. Well, that's all I have time for in this video, but I've got plenty more to show you. One source that you can check out is my second book right here. It's called The Reason Booth Had to Die. It's sold on Amazon. You can go to my website, www.reasonlincoln.com, and read my article section, and it tells you where to buy the book, and it has a lot of good information in there that addresses the diary, and the last 3 chapters of this book are about the history of the diary and how it was defiled by Stanton and his War Department to keep the conspiracy to kill Lincoln a secret. So this is a really interesting stuff, and I think you'll really enjoy it. So thank you for watching.